I want to talk about Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks because just 2 years ago, they made the NFL playoffs with Geno Smith. It was his first starting year with the Seattle Seahawks, and he looked like a franchise quarterback at the time. And it was a very successful season. We fast forward to the previous season, a lot of things went wrong. And for the first time since 2010, they're going to have a brand new head coach and Mike Macdonald, who's the former defensive coordinator with the Baltimore Ravens. He's a great defensive mind. Before I get into the defense, I do want to talk about the offense as a whole and break down every position. Geno Smith is a very good quarterback. He is still the same quarterback he was a year ago when they made the NFL playoffs. And I do believe that Geno Smith will return back to form. He was dealing with a lot of injuries in his second year with the Seahawks. He was dealing with a leg injury. He was dealing with an arm injury as well. The leg injury is what he suffered against the New York Giants, and he wasn't fully healthy. I understand that a lot of people may look at his numbers and they'll say, hey, he fell off a cliff. He's not the same quarterback. It wasn't solely on him. The offensive line was not the same. I understand in 2022, he had 4,282 passing yards, 30 passing touchdowns to 11 interceptions. In 2023, 3,624 passing yards, 20 passing touchdowns to 9 interceptions. Still not bad numbers. Every single quarterback this season that we just came off of, their numbers were down because the defense, for some odd reason, they went back to being dominant defenses. I think that the Seattle Seahawks are going to be in a better situation in this upcoming season because Pete Carroll, that old philosophy, wasn't working out. On the offensive end, they were fine. Shane Waldron was a very good offensive coordinator. In his first year with Geno Smith, he did phenomenal things on first, second, and third down. One interesting thing that you look at, Geno Smith was pressured 47.6% of the time on third downs. And it'll be 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. They would try to pass the football. Part of the reason to why Geno Smith was not as successful on third down and why his second season with the Seattle Seahawks wasn't the best is because of the offensive line protection. Charles Cross missed time. Abraham Lucas missed majority of the season dealing with an injury, and he's still dealing with that knee injury in training camp. He is scheduled to go out there and play week 1 when the season ramps up, but I'm worried about him. Usually when offensive linemen are dealing with lower leg injuries, that's not a good sign, or even any leg injury. Abraham Lucas is a very good tackle when he's on the field, and they definitely miss him. They had Jason Peters out there last season trying to protect Geno Smith. It was no good. And when you had Charles Cross and Abraham Lucas both missing times, it wasn't a good situation with anyone back there, even with Drew Lock. You have very good wide receivers. You have very good running backs as well. And I believe that you have a very good quarterback room. It doesn't matter if the offensive line protection is not going to be good. At the tackle position, Geno Smith is a very interesting quarterback. He can evade pressure through the middle. And we saw that. The thing is this, he needs that tackle support. And most quarterbacks in the NFL need tackle support. He can't go out there and make those elite level throws if he's getting pressured by 3 to 4 people at the same time. So they're going to have to be healthy on that offensive line. They are also bringing in a brand new offensive coordinator. Shane Waldron is now the offensive coordinator with the Chicago Bears. We'll see if he can be successful over there. He called up some very good plays with the Seattle Seahawks. I still like him as an offensive mind. You bring in a brand new offensive coordinator in Ryan Grubbs, who's a former coordinator from Washington, a team that just went to the national championship against Michigan. He helped develop Michael Penix Jr. into being a first-round pick. He also helped Rome Odunze develop and Jalen Polk as well. You have an elite offense at the skill position. Kenneth Walker III is phenomenal. You now have Zach Charbonnet, who is very good as well. Their running back duo is very interesting. Kenneth Walker III has some power to him, but he's more so known for being explosive. Zach Charbonnet is just a bowling ball, and he can go out there and he can get you 40 to 50 yards as well. I like their rushing attack, especially with these wide receivers. DK Metcalf is still one of the best wide receivers in the game. You look at Tyler Lockett. We have to talk about this. This is a man that has just been drinking out the fountain of youth. Because as he gets older, he gets better. He is still an elite playmaker on the sideline. With just getting the 2 feet down, inbounds. He is a phenomenal slot wide receiver. And he can play on the outside as well, but he's a better slot wide receiver. He's been making plays since those old Seattle Seahawks teams with Russell Wilson, Marshawn Lynch, and Doug Baldwin. This man's one of the most underrated wide receivers in the game, and he's a great wide receiver to have. You also drafted Jackson Smith and Jigba in last year's first round with Devin Witherspoon. I look at Jackson Smith and Jigba, he could be the number 2 target. That's how good he is. He's a perfect route runner. He can run every single route that you want him to, and he can take the top off the defense. You just can't go out there and just double cover DK Metcalf and just put roll coverage on Tyler Lockett, because you have a plethora of weapons outside that can kill you, and you have Noah Fant as well. I'm not as high on Noah Fant as some other people are. He's a solid receiving tight end at best. That's it. He was selected in the first round by the Denver Broncos many years ago. The Seahawks got him in that trade when they traded Russell Wilson to the Denver Broncos. He's not a bad tight end, but he's not going to go out there and be a top receiving tight end in the NFL. But he can go out there and make some special plays on 2nd and 3rd down. When it's a 3rd and 3 or when it's a 2nd and 5, he can move the chains. He had a very explosive play against the New York Giants. It was called back. He has shown signs of being a very good playmaker, but he's just not going to be a guy that you want to depend on over and over again. And he doesn't have to be that tight end because you have those elite weapons at the wide receiving position. This is one of the best offensive units in the NFL. It just comes down to the health of their offensive line. That's it. And I do believe that Ryan Grubbs is going to translate very well over to the NFL. You could legit just go out there and run the football on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down with how dumb they were up front with the interior. It's just the tackles. That was it. That play action game with the Seattle Seahawks has been very good over the last couple of years, even under Russell Wilson. But their offense has not been terrible. Their offense has been very good. Underneath Russell Wilson, underneath Geno Smith. Their Achilles heel has been their defense. Since the Legion of Boom started to disappear member by member, Richard Sherman left. You no longer had Cam Chancellor, no longer had Earl Thomas. The defense wasn't the same, but yet Pete Carroll tried to go out there and create that magic that they had with the Legion of Boom. He did not adapt. And Pete Carroll was still a solid head coach before he decided to retire. You now bring in a brand new head coach with a brand new defensive philosophy. The division changed, but the philosophy did not change for Pete Carroll. You now see teams in this division, like the San Francisco 49ers, Los Angeles Rams, and even the Arizona Cardinals. They can all run the football. The Seattle Seahawks have been terrible at stopping the run for the last 3 to 4 years when it matters the most. They had the 30th ranked rushing defense in the NFL this previous season. That's no good. And just a year before, they couldn't stop the run either. That's why they went out there and they brought back Bobby Wagner. Remember, he left, he went to the Los Angeles Rams. Then he came back. He's no longer with this team. You're depending on those old veterans to go out there and try to recreate that Legion of Boom magic. Give up the run, try to go rush the passer. Problem was, you did not have a dominant pass rusher either. Boye Mafe had 9 sacks this season. He's very good. I think that Jaron Reed is a better pass rusher than him because he gets a lot of pressure up the middle of the field. But Boye Mafe is a tremendous pass rusher to have. I'm not trying to disrespect him. He's going to be a key playmaker with them. Uchenna Nwosu, just a year ago, had 9.5 sacks. He missed majority of this previous season dealing with a torn pec. He's going to be a very good pass rusher still. You have him. You have Darrell Taylor. Darrell Taylor did not look like the same pass rusher, but 5.5 sacks, that would get it done. You have a bunch of guys that can go back there and put the pressure on the quarterback. And that's what you need. You also drafted Byron Murphy as well out of Texas in the first round. Elite run stopper. And he can go back there. He can sack the quarterback as well, but he's not going to be able to do it on a down-to-down basis. He may go out there and do it on 2nd or 3rd down. He is primarily known to go out there and stop the run. The same with Leonard Williams as well. These are tremendous big bodies that can go out there and put a lot of pressure and put a lot of stress on the offensive line, and they can stop that run game. Their secondary was solid because Devin Witherspoon was phenomenal in his rookie season. He's going to be the best cornerback in the next couple of years. And no offense to Tariq Woolen, he's phenomenal as well. But Devin Witherspoon, this kid's all over the field. He's a playmaker. He's getting pick sixes, forced fumbles. He can sack the quarterback. He's going to be tremendous in the secondary. You do worry about him because he does play reckless at times. But at the same time, it's just beautiful to watch on film. This is one of those players you just look at. He is just a game wrecker. You can put him on tight ends. You can just put him on the number 1 wide receiver. Tariq Woolen is fast as hell. Their cornerbacks are very good. What did them in the secondary last season was their safeties. Jamal Adams couldn't cover anyone. Jamal Adams was terrible. The Seahawks wanted to keep him around as a linebacker. He said no. Now he's with the Tennessee Titans. To the Tennessee Titans, good luck with that. Because as a cover safety, he's terrible. He got exposed multiple times against the Dallas Cowboys. He got exposed multiple times against the San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams. He's no good. And the Cardinals got him as well. He's terrible. And I'm happy that they moved off of him. You're bringing in more players that fit the system of Mike McDonald. Safeties that can go out there, they can cover in space, and they can make tackles. The way that he called that Baltimore Ravens defense was just great. And you look at the safeties that the Seattle Seahawks have now. Julian Love was very good last season. He was so good they just gave him a contract extension. He made some key plays, especially against the Philadelphia Eagles. He was their best safety last season. 85 solo tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 4 interceptions, 10 pass deflections. You also have Rayshon Jenkins as well. He's a veteran. He's not going to be one of the best safeties in the NFL, but he's going to fit the system like a glove. He's going to be where you need him to be on the field. He has great player recognition. That's all you can really ask for at the safety position, because he's not going to go out there and make immediate plays on the football. That's what you have Julian Love for. But moving off for Quandre Diggs and Jamal Adams, A+. That gives you an immediate A+ this offseason just for moving off both of those guys because there are liabilities in coverage. The linebackers are solid as well. Terrell Dotson made some key plays of the Buffalo Bills when they had so many injuries. When Matt Milano went down, he was the best tackler on that team. He's going to come over, he's going to stop the run, he can make plays in space. Jerome Baker is more so the coverage linebacker. He can also go back there, stop the run, but he's going to go out there and he's going to put a lot of pressure on the tight ends. This is a tough division, and you're going against tough coaches as well. So the way that this team is equipped on the defensive side is to go out there and beat teams like the San Francisco 49ers and to beat teams like the Los Angeles Rams. And if the Seattle Seahawks want to make a deep playoff run, and if they're fully healthy, I believe that they can, you're going to have to go out there and beat those teams. The Los Angeles Rams are very good, and the San Francisco 49ers are great. They have not been able to beat the San Francisco 49ers in quite some time because Pete Carroll's getting outcoached by Kyle Shanahan, and they have too many pieces. I look at the Seattle Seahawks now. Their defense is still not perfect. It's still not where it needs to be, but it's going to be better than what it was last season. The thing is this. Their offense can put so much pressure on you to where you're going to have to go out there and try to keep pace with them. It's like a track meet. They got cheated against the Dallas Cowboys last season. They should have won that game. If they were to go out there and win that game, maybe the playoffs look different. Maybe they squeeze in, they make the NFL playoffs. The sad thing is this. They went 7 quarters without scoring an offensive touchdown because of the injuries to the offensive line and because of the injuries to Geno Smith. And once again, I would say look at film with Geno Smith. He can still go out there. He can sling the football. I also want to talk about this before I let you guys go. They made a trade to go out there and get Sam Howell from the Washington Commanders. Right now, he is struggling in training camp. I expected that. It's a brand new team. This is still a very young football player. This is year 3 for him. He's a year or 2 away from truly being a starter in the NFL. I believe the Washington Commanders ruined this kid so far. I am high on Sam Howell still. The accuracy is shaky, but this is a kid that just came from a terrible situation. He was the most sacked quarterback, most pressure quarterback in the NFL. And those wide receivers besides Terry McLaurin, they couldn't get open. If Geno Smith wants to leave and the Seattle Seahawks don't want to pay him top quarterback money yet again, you can slide this kid in. He could be the future. But there's no reason to rush this thing. Take care of him. He's a special talent with that arm strength that he has. Go out there, help him control that accuracy because you can coach that. In the past, it was a question. Can you go out there? Can you make accuracy better? You can. Look at Josh Allen. Look at Lamar Jackson. Their accuracies have gotten better. And I'm not trying to compare Sam Howell to those guys. Those are freaking natures. But Sam Howell did not have the best infrastructure with the Washington Commanders. With the Seahawks, there's better weapons out there. You have guys like DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Jackson Smith-Njigba. The infrastructure right now is better with the Seahawks. And there's no pressure for him to go out there and play week 1. If Geno Smith does go down for a couple games, I believe that you can put him in the game and he may be fine. As a week-to-week starter, I just think it's too soon with a brand new team. And I'm trying to learn a brand new system. Let Geno Smith hold it down for the next year or 2 and see where you're at. While you try to go out there and retool and basically rebuild this defense as a whole from the ground up. They have some good players, but it's still going to take some years to get them where they want to be on the defensive front. I think that they can go out there and win a playoff game or two because of how good their offense is. Like I said, it comes down to health of the tackles of Abraham Lucas and Charles Cross. They wouldn't have got swept by the Rams last season. And I like the Rams a lot. I love Sean McVay. I'm going to stand on that point. If they were fully healthy, they would have not gotten swept by the Rams. Now, I understand it's football. No one's going to just ever be fully healthy. Fully understand that. But that's what did them in as well. When they got swept by the Rams, and when they lost against Dallas Cowboys, and like I'm going to say again, they got cheated in that game. That's what cost them the NFL playoffs. If they were to split with the Rams and they were to go out there and beat the Dallas Cowboys, they would have went out there. They would have made the NFL playoffs in 2 straight years with Geno Smith. But let me know in the comment section below, how do you guys feel about the Seattle Seahawks? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, we want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. God bless. Peace.